and says more. Adam, just remind us how long we've been waiting to find out whether these charges, this trial, would go ahead, and exactly what Mr. Tate will be on trial for.
Well, this is just coming up to 6 months since Andrew and Tristian Tate were arrested in Romania, and this was heading towards the pinch point where effectively the Romanian authorities had to come up with charges, and that is exactly what they have done. So these two men, along with 2 other suspects, have been charged with human trafficking, rape, and with forming a criminal gang to sexually exploit women. This trial will not take place immediately. Under Romanian law, it is sent to a preliminary chamber where a judge has 60 days to inspect the case files to ensure that the process has been followed. He could, of course, throw it out, or indeed he could pass it on for trial. But I think after all the waiting, the speculation and frankly the enormous hyperbole that has happened online involving this case, we now have the concrete decision by Romanian authorities. We have a relatively brief press release that I've put out, but within that you can see the framework of the case that the Tate brothers will have to answer. And there are some interesting elements within this, talking about the sexual exploitation by the organised criminal gang, which is, of course, what they say that the Tate brothers have been involved in. They said that there were 7 injured persons, 3 of whom are now involved in this criminal prosecution. They talk of the people, the injured persons, being recruited by Andrew and Tristian Tate, and then says that they were misled about their intention to establish a marriage or relationship, the existence of real feelings of love, and described this as using an expression that I think Andrew Tate himself has used, the lover boy method, and said that they were then transported and housed in buildings in Romania, and then said that they were subjected to exercises of physical violence and mental coercion and sexually exploited. Now, what they have said is that these allegations go back not to the start of this year, but, and they say in the beginning of 2021, says these 4 defendants constituted what they say is an organised criminal gang with a view to committing the crimes of human trafficking, yes, on the territory, as they say, of Romania, but also, they say, in other countries, such as the United States of America, and Great Britain. I'm sure that these allegations will now prick up the ears of prosecutors in both USA and the United Kingdom. A question will be about the level of cooperation that Romanian authorities will get or will continue to receive from those 2 countries. For the moment, the Tate brothers will remain under house arrest. That is part of the long list of assets that have been requested and seized by the Romanian authorities. Very interestingly, also here they detail this. The money that they say they wanted to seize included €52,500, $17,000, £10,000, but also over 21 million Bitcoin. For those of you who have followed the value of Bitcoin, that works out as nearly $400 million that they say they want to seize from the Tate brothers. Now, why this is, of course, particularly high profile is because of that man, Andrew Tate, who has many, many millions of followers online. He is undoubtedly a divisive social media presence. He has over the years said a number of things, many things that have been described as being offensive, misogynistic, and have been castigated by the likes of educationalists, by I mean, the list, frankly, is long of people who berate Andrew Tate, whether it is those working in children in education, whether it is those working for equal rights, or those who simply say that he is a corrosive presence. Now, of course, it is worth saying that there are lots of others. He has these so many millions of followers, particularly, I think, among teenage boys, who say that he is actually a counter to modern society, that he has empowered people and given some young men a sense of purpose in their lives. That he set up a thing called Hustlers University, which he said was to allow young men to grow their skills. Others said that this was simply one step below a pyramid scheme. That certainly it enriched him, certainly it raised his profile. I think it is undoubtedly true that Andrew Tate has an extraordinary social media power, not just in Britain, certainly not just in Romania, but around the world. He has at one point claimed to be the world's first trillionaire. Well, that's manifestly untrue, but it's clearly a fact that he has earned a great deal of money from his high profile on social media. And yet those allegations of misogyny and of treating women like chattels are now going to be tested at the very highest level by Romanian authorities. And I think in Romania, a country that has been linked over a long time to allegations of being a sense of human trafficking, I felt when I went there that the authorities thought that this was a test case, that lots of people had said, well, look, they're only in Romania because they are allowed to get away with things there, that it is a centre of human trafficking, that there are lax rules on gun ownership. That house that you can see Andrew Tate's there is the house that he occupies in a rather curious suburb of Bucharest, where he took a former light industrial warehouse and turned it into a great big sprawling house down a dusty street. I think the Romanian authorities felt they needed to actually take action here on behalf of the country's reputation. It is an EU member, and that is what we have right now, are these criminal proceedings that have been initiated against 4 individuals, including Andrew and Tristian Tate.